I'm here today with Patrick Cheetham, Executive Chairman of AIM-listed Tertiary Minerals, EPIC code TYM, a mining company with a multi-commodity portfolio of assets in Europe and the USA. These include precious metals, base metals, and industrial minerals. Patrick, it's good to speak with you.
Good morning, Alan.
Good morning. So, along with the half-year results announced last week, you announced 3 new project acquisitions. Before we get into that, can you give listeners an overview of the tertiary minerals offering?
Sure. I mean, as you said in your introduction, we're building a multi-commodity portfolio of projects in Europe and the USA. But for the past few years, we've really been known exclusively as a fluorspar developer. And that's changing. You know, our focus has shifted from Europe to Nevada in particular, and it's broadened to include precious metals, base metals. And it's something that we started last year, and I think actually it's probably a timely move. You know, whilst this COVID epidemic has brought a lot of problems, you know, there are some silver linings, and for us, I think that's that we're going to see a bull market in commodities and gold in particular. So, you know, our first project in that strategy was the Pyramid project, a gold project in Nevada. You know, we acquired this. It's located in the Walker Lane mineral belt, a major mineral belt in southern Nevada, includes many multi-million-ounce gold deposits. And this particular project was explored in the 1990s by a company called Battle Mountain Mining. They found a lot of anomalous surface samples, good gold grades, and drilled a hole that had very high grade gold. And so we stepped in very quickly on this to drill a confirmatory hole that did confirm the structure to be gold mineralized. The results were not as high as previous, but gold can be very spotty in drilling, of course. But what it did do was confirm the system to be gold bearing. It's situated on a very, very strong gold soil anomaly, and we're planning more work now. So that was followed pretty quickly by our Pyramid project. This is more of a base metal silver, our Paymaster project, more of a base metal silver project, zinc and silver. It's a skarn type environment over a very long strike length, 1.7 kilometers. And we've had zinc values up to about 21% in surface sampling. Now we've just completed a large mapping project with the objective to define drill targets. So those are the 2 first cabs off the rank, if you like. But that's not to say we should forget about our fluorspar project. You know, within the 3 fluorspar projects, 2 in Europe and 1 in Nevada, then we have about 13 million tons in JORC compliant resources. Now, if you look at that at a price currently around $500 a ton, you know, you can do the maths. They're very, very valuable projects for us. But we have had challenges. You know, at our MB project, a very large resource, but we have had some metallurgical challenges. And we're doing a program of scoping metallurgical test work right now. But we do need to make some breakthroughs for this project to realize the value that we believe is there.
Okay.
And in Europe, of course, we have our Storuman project, another JORC compliant resource. But there we've had some permitting issues, and we're working through those at the moment and waiting for a decision from the government. And you know, positive developments on either of those projects obviously could be a major catalyst for value creation.
Yes.
And I suppose not to forget our gold project in Finland, which is a legacy project. We have a royalty interest there. This is a Karaselka project. We're adjacent to a very, very interesting project held by Orion called the Risted project, very high grade gold intersections. And also right next door to Rupert Resources with their part of our gold mine, where they recently announced extensions to their gold mineralization. So again, one for the future, royalty interest, we get a production royalty, and if they define JORC resources, then we get additional payments.
Okay, so that's a great summary. Thank you, Patrick. So let's go on to these new project acquisitions. A great set of names there: Pegleg, Mount Tobin, and Lucky Copper. It all sounds very exciting. So
Yes, I have to say I did make a mistake. Was pointed out to me by a rather witty mining analyst who in his morning note said that we'd broken the cardinal rule of naming mineral projects in calling one of our projects a Lucky project. Said we should never name a project Bonanza or Lucky or Gold Strike, that sort of words. But in our defence, it's an inherited name.
Okay.
So,
that's fine.
so what these projects have in common is that we've staked them at very low cost, and they're examples of our strategy to acquire projects at low cost, to take them quickly to the drill stage. We're acquiring projects where there's mineralized evidence at the surface or in previous drill holes, and we can quickly bring them up to the stage where we can drill test them, because at the end of the day, the drill is the truth machine, and that's where the discoveries are made, and that's where the value is created. So, for example, at Pegleg, we have high-grade copper and silver mineralization outcropping, and we put an application in for a permit to do a trenching program. We'd expect to get that done in the next couple of months. The Mount Tobin project, again, is outcropping silver mineralization. This is in sort of central Nevada, a large area of hydrothermal alteration, about 60 meters wide and just over 1 kilometer long. It has an associated silver geochemical anomaly. So we need to get in there and understand a little bit better with some mapping and sampling. And again, we plan to do that in the next month or so.
Okay.
And finally, the Lucky Copper, that's over in eastern Nevada. Copper gossans exposed in old workings, mineralization in a shallow drill hole, a porphyry replacement style of mineralization. These deposits can be quite large, but it is early days. We're going to do some geophysics and soil sampling with a view to defining drill targets. But we hope to move fairly quickly on all three of these projects.
Excellent. Okay. So, Patrick, on to the funding position for Tertiary. You said on the announcement last week you had approximately 800,000 on May 26th.
Yes, that's right. That's about where we're at, and I think the point here is that we have very low overheads. So our overheads run around £250,000 a year. We share offices with Sunrise Resources, so all the overheads get split down the middle, and so we're well funded into next year with a reasonable exploration budget.
Excellent. That's very good to know. And just on to going back to Fluorspar a second, there's a relationship, and I know Richard Clemmy, the former managing director, and we wish him well. He was instrumental in putting this in place, a strategic takeoff relationship for the Fluorspar with Possel Erzkonto.
Yeah, so Possel are a major global minerals trading company, and they have a strong interest in Fluorspar. And Rick had a previous relationship with them in a previous company, so that sort of continued on to Tertiary. We signed an MOU, and basically they provide marketing support for projects where that's required, and offtake as well, which is important for industrial minerals project where there is no electronic traded market. So they've also suggested that they'd be involved in helping with pre-financing for Tertiary for projects. And whilst this relationship really came out of our Fluorspar interests, Possel trade a wide range of commodities, and we've looked at a number of projects with them where they could bring expertise to the project. And although Rick is departing from us, we expect that relationship to continue.
Excellent. Okay, so thankfully we seem to be starting to emerge the other side of COVID-19, and I trust all of your staff and relatives are well there, Patrick. But looking beyond this, where do you see the value inflection points arriving for Tertiary Minerals?
So I think the ones that are directly under our control relate to our new projects, our projects in Nevada, and we expect to see substantial news flow from that. So I think that's something that has been lacking over the past couple of years in tertiary. The company's been bogged down in the permitting and difficult metallurgical test work. That's not been very exciting for our shareholders, but we do expect to have significant news flow from a number of projects over the next few months. And I guess the other thing is that I touched on previously is that a breakthrough in the metallurgical test work or a positive outcome from the decisions of the government in Sweden, have substantial potential for value creation as well in the company. But we're not counting on that because it's not under our control.
Right. Okay, Patrick. So just before we end, what's been a fascinating interview, we've got a couple of questions. We put out a Q&A, some questions to be asked to you by shareholders in Tertiary. Firstly, David Brown from Manchester says, Tertiary shares haven't really done much apart from fall in value since I bought back in 2017. Do you expect to be able to turn this around quickly? Sorry, rather put you on the spot there.
Well, I sincerely hope so, and I've got to sympathise with that. I'm a significant shareholder myself, and all my shares have been paid for in cash at a substantial premium to current value. So, I think that the work we're now doing, the commodities we're involved in, certainly have the potential to turn the share price around. Yes.
Okay. And finally, then from Jane Morrison, Edinburgh, do you have farming partners lined up for Pyramid Gold yet?
Well, short answer is no, but we haven't actually gone out there to seek farming partners. We've only just completed the first drill hole there, and we've not sought to find farming partners. But I would say that as a company, we're getting regular approaches from companies looking for new projects. The gold sector and the copper sector in Nevada in particular are very, very buoyant. Nevada is well known as an attractive destination, and should we start to look for joint venture partners, then I think there's the opportunities out there.
Okay, excellent. Well, Patrick, it's been great talking with you. Before we wrap this up, can you provide 3 key takeaway points for investors watching this?
Okay, so I guess the first point, we are a low-cost and nimble explorer, and I think we're going to have good news flow. So the second point really is that news flow. We're going to see increased news flow over the next few months. And I guess the third and last point really is that, the market cap of the company really is very small. Our market cap's about £2 million. We have £800,000 in cash, as you point out. And against that, we have very high liquidity in our trading in recent months. So, I think the opportunity is there.
Excellent. Patrick Cheetham, Executive Chairman of Tertiary Minerals, many thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.